Coming up on 5 Minute News. Rudy Giuliani subpoenaed by January 6 investigative panel. Cellphone networks pause 5G rollout near US airports. And Russia moves troops westward as Ukraine tensions rise. It's Wednesday, January 19. I'm Anthony Davis. The committee investigating the US Capitol insurrection issued subpoenas on Tuesday to Rudy Giuliani and other members of Donald Trump's legal team who filed bogus legal challenges to the 2020 election that fueled the lie that the race had been stolen from the former president. The committee is continuing to widen its scope into Trump's orbit, this time demanding information and testimony from Giuliani, Jenna Ellis, Sidney Powell, and Boris Epshteyn. All four publicly pushed Trump's baseless voter fraud claims in the months after the election. Trump's legal team sought to overturn the election results in the battleground states by filing lawsuits alleging widespread irregularities with ballots and claims by partisan poll watchers who claimed they couldn't see everything going on, in part because of the precautions taken as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. More than 50 lawsuits were filed, mostly in battleground states. The lawsuits were soundly batted down in the courts, sometimes within days of filing. But the legal challenges and the multiple press conferences held by Giuliani, including one at the Four Seasons Total Landscaping parking lot, helped galvanize Trump supporters behind the idea that the election had been stolen, even though Trump's own Attorney General said there was no evidence of widespread fraud. The Select Committee's members have said they will consider passing along evidence of criminal conduct by Trump to the U.S. Justice Department. Such a move, known as a criminal referral, would be largely symbolic, but would increase the political pressure on Attorney General Merrick Garland to charge the former president. Verizon and ATT have agreed to temporarily defer turning on some wireless towers near key airports to avert a significant disruption to US flights. President Joe Biden hailed the agreement, saying it will avoid potentially devastating disruptions to passenger travel, cargo operations, and our economic recovery, while allowing more than 90% of wireless tower deployment to occur as scheduled. Verizon will temporarily not turn on about 500 towers near airports, or less than 10% of their planned deployment, while the carriers and the administration work on a permanent solution, for which they've had over 2 years to prepare for. Both Verizon and AT&T will launch 5G today elsewhere in the country, bringing faster speeds to tens of millions of people. The Federal Aviation Administration has warned that 5G interference could affect sensitive aircraft instruments, such as radio altimeters, and significantly hamper low-visibility operations, such as automatic landings, but has failed to work closely with major carriers to mitigate issues, unlike other countries. This is the third time that AT&T and Verizon have agreed to delay the deployment of the new C-band 5G wireless service. The companies in November postponed deployment by 30 days until January 5th. Earlier this month, they again agreed to delay deployment until today. Still, the FAA and airlines must grapple with how to resolve the concerns permanently, especially since AT&T and Verizon earlier agreed to take some measures to resolve the concerns permanently. Despite the agreement, major foreign carriers, including Air India and Japan's biggest airline, ANA, said they had cancelled some US-bound flights because of possible 5G interference. Russia is sending an unspecified number of troops from the country's far east to Belarus for major war games, officials said on Tuesday, that will further beef up Russian military presence near Ukraine amid Western fears of a planned invasion. Amid the soaring tensions, the White House warned that Russia could attack its neighbour at any point, while the UK delivered a batch of anti-tank weapons to Ukraine. Russia's Deputy Defense Minister Alexander Fomin said the joint drills with Belarus would involve practicing a joint response to external threats. A series of talks last week between Russia, the US and NATO failed to quell the tensions over Ukraine. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken will meet his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov in Geneva on Friday in another attempt to defuse the crisis. Russia has already started moving troops for the war games in Belarus. Fomin said it would take through February 9 to fully deploy weapons and personnel for the Allied Resolve 2022 drills, which are expected to take place from February the 10th through 20th. Fomin didn't say how many troops will be involved, but mentioned that Russia will deploy a dozen Su-35 fighter jets and several air defense units to Belarus. The deployment would bolster an estimated 100,000 Russian troops with tanks and other heavy weapons who are already amassed near Ukraine. Russia has denied that it intends to attack its neighbour, but demanded guarantees from the West that NATO will not expand to Ukraine or other former Soviet nations, or place its troops or weapons there. Washington and its allies have firmly rejected Moscow's demands. The United States has urged Russia to de-escalate the situation by calling back the troops amassed near Ukraine. You can subscribe to 5-Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5-Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5-Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health, and climate, delivering independent, unbiased, and essential world news daily.